We ain't got no problem with that. We understand we gotta help people get off the plane and help Betty White if something happens. What's the problem? We agree. Did you ask her to agree? You ain't doing your job.
This is making the rounds, and I just think it crystallizes entitlement, which is honestly perhaps the biggest problem we have in our country. If you think about it, what soils the country or what corrodes the country? Entitlement. People thinking that they are entitled, insert whatever it is here, a degree that they haven't earned, a job that they haven't earned, a spot that they haven't earned. Entitlement allows people to come in and whisk you away on the wings of equity, right? That's what happens, equity. It's not equality, it's equity. The same thing you see with relationships. You see this a lot where people think that they are entitled to a perfect relationship. They are entitled to the perfect man. They are entitled to the perfect woman. They are entitled to the perfect children even though they don't put in the effort of parenting. They are entitled to the perfect body. That's where we used to be, but now they're entitled to claim that they have a perfect body even though they have a blood type of pudding. Everything is guaranteed to everyone all the time. And it appears as though that even extends to obese, belligerent women in exit rows who refuse to take part in the exit row protocol. Have I set this up clearly? So. I hope so. This was a flight, I believe, out of North Carolina. It had to be entirely deplaned because there was a passenger who, and the video starts after this, but according to passengers on the plane, many passengers, and quite a few began filming, the woman in question that you will see in the exit row refused to help when asked, hey, will you help in the situation of an emergency? Yeah. She said, oh, I'm not going to save anybody. If something happens, I'm going to save myself. Now, I don't know if you know this, the FAA regulations actually demand that exit row passengers verbally answer yes.
Yeah.
That they can perform exit row functions.
They must do it in English.
Yes.
Which seems...
They have to do it in English. A nod doesn't work. Uh-huh doesn't work. They say, I need a yes or no, sir, ma'am, or Z. So she said, no, I'm going to save myself. And then people began rolling the cameras. Watch the entitlement ensue.
She talking to me. What is the problem? Because she don't want to tell us her name. A problem? What's the problem? We ain't got no problem with that. We understand we got to help people get off the plane and help Betty White if something happens. What's the problem? We agree. Did you ask her to agree? You ain't doing your job. I don't know if it's going on. You better get out of my face is what you need to do.
So pause. Did you ask her, remember, if any of you haven't read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and by the way, you also find this in the Bible, worry about yourself. You can't control everybody else. Also, I guarantee that she asked the other lady to agree. It's not a race thing. I'm willing to bet the other lady, black, white, yellow, precious in his sight, I have no idea the race of the other lady. She probably answered, yes. Continue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more time nicely to get off.
You know they found a black guy to ask her nicely.
Yeah.
I'm calling my attorney because we didn't do anything wrong. They asked us to agree.
They're like, Jerome, we got another one.
Frontier spirit.
Frontier.
But we'll talk about it outside.
Look at him. Look at him.
I love that everybody else is calling her out, but right away it's the victim mindset, the entitlement. Did you ask her? Betty White. Hey, what if the white lady said, hey, well, Shaniqua here helping which by the way would be lazy and hack. My point is, so was her comment. What would happen at that point? You would have that person probably drafted up for hate crimes.
Absolutely. And look, I think it's kind of funny in the beginning, like, of course not. I'm saving myself. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then you follow it up with, no, I'll help people and get off the plane. Look, if you want the extra leg room, you have to potentially die on the airplane. I think that's reasonable.
That's the deal you make.
You can see the entitlement too, with her own words, how she would rather say, oh, you ain't doing your job. She'd rather have someone get fired and lose their job than to just go, oh yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. Yes.
Right. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can we please be done with this? I'm so sorry.
Well, the thing is, you can't be done with it at that point because you have already said no. I won't. All right. And now she could have gone to another seat at that point. Right. They can't allow you to sit in the exit row. By the way, this could also be solved by not allowing people in the exit row who clearly, no matter how they answer, could not perform the exit row functions. How'd you like to walk up to that wing in an emergency and see that broad there in charge of your safety?
Oh, jeez.
Can you drag me off the plane? Nope.
I think the exit row seats should require a push-up and pull-up qualification.
Really?
I'm just saying.
This test, huh?
What? They're just sitting at the gate doing it.
Nope, he's not. Next.
You don't get to say, like, I got a bomb. I'm just kidding. No, you said it. You're off. You now leave.
I don't understand why people have that entitlement on airplanes. This is one of those places where you have seen what people do. There is no grace on this. You don't mess around on an airplane because people's lives are at stake. People are already nervous a lot of times when they fly. I'm not. I've flown a lot. You probably not. But a lot of people, no matter how many times they fly, they get nervous. So don't screw around. Just say yes and move on. This is their environment. They control it. Why do you have to be like, no, I'm not going to do it. Get out of my face. Where do you think you are?
Yeah.
You think like you're at a Chili's? And
She literally said that, Gerald. She goes, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
And then I think they were dumbfounded. They're like, shoot, I don't know. I think it's an airline where
I'm doing my
exit row. I
job.
think this is the exit row.
Yeah, this is the exit row.
We mentioned that, actually. We mentioned earlier, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, and you refused to help, and so we're kindly asking you to switch seats, but instead we have to deboard this whole plane because you are an entitled wench.
Yeah, it's not a Golden Corral.
Yeah.
I see it all the time when I fly, too. It's always like one person annoyed because a flight attendant's like, sir, headphones. Can I get a verbal confirmation?
Right, yeah.
Every time. There's no way they miss somebody.
Also, you're not supposed to have headphones because you're supposed to turn off all electronic devices. If you don't, that's how 9/11 happened. So
I don't think that's
what it is.
That's not true. United Airlines is responsible.
It was a few Arabs playing Billy Joel.
That reminds me, I flew Qatar Air. They didn't ask me about the exit row at all.
You know,
They
basically
just walked on by. I was like, oh,
the
okay.
affirmation is Allahu Akbar, and you're like, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do the job.
They have slaves under the floorboard for that.
Jesus.
They just pop out and open the door and pop back in?
Yeah.
Go
that's
down
what
with the
they're there
plane?
for.
Only the pilots have parachutes. Odd.
Weird.
It just goes to show you don't always get what you want in life, as we have learned at our great expense experimenting with our new AI software in the office.
Morning, ChatGPT. How are you today?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
And we spent so much money and the
know.
promises were never delivered upon. It's almost as though it's the opposite of helpful.
We shouldn't have done belligerent Samuel L. Jackson. We should have done something a little nicer.
We should have read the pamphlet.
Watch Slider with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.